Thanks, you're very generous, and I'm glad to see so many familiar faces here from the film series, and we're really glad that as many of you could attend that as did. And we really welcome you here today, and we hope that you'll be very challenged with things. Before I say anything else, I'd like to do something that I feel is very important, and that's to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Miami, the Potawatomi, the Lenape, and other groups that have lived here in the past. The second thing I'd like to do is to say some thanks for additional sponsors. The IUPUI, Department of Anthropology, Museum Studies, and Student Government have helped with the funding of the project. This is a very emotional panel for me. Emotional for a number of reasons. One is that I guess it's kind of like old home week, seeing a couple of guys here that I haven't seen for a long time, Bill Means and Charlie Abourezk. We go back a long ways to my days at the University of South Dakota and their days doing other strange and interesting things in South Dakota. They'll tell you about some of those. And some of you, of course, have seen a Tattoo in My Heart, the video that was made by the two men. The other thing that's sort of difficult for me is that it's a very difficult subject when you start to think of the question of Wounded Knee. The 1890 Wounded Knee certainly was tremendously difficult for a lot of different reasons. The Wounded Knee episode in 1973 was similar, but the messages and concerns were not so dissimilar from the kinds of things that had erupted earlier. The problems are, I suppose, long-term ideological problems that have occurred in the United States in terms of the relationship between Indian people and the dominant society. So, without saying much further, I would like to introduce my old friend, Bill Means. Bill's going to talk for about 30 minutes. He said, give me a cue at about 20, okay? So, if in the audience it's about 20, give him a cue also. And start shuffling around. That's kind of teasing Bill. But Bill is an extraordinary man. I've known Bill since 1982, I think we figured out last night. We met at a hotel in Minneapolis where we were both talking to the Society for American Archaeology about the repatriation issue, the return of human remains from archaeological laboratories. And I think it was a pretty difficult meeting for both of us because the Society for American Archaeology was a very difficult organization at that time in terms of the kinds of attitudes that prevailed. But so many things have happened since then. Bill, of course, has done a lot of different kinds of things around the country and, in fact, around the world. He's extremely active with the American Indian movement. He's especially active in his home turf of the Twin Cities, where he has a whole number of projects going on. And he's also been heavily involved with the International Indian Treaty Council in terms of a number of indigenous issues around the world. And I'm sure you're going to be challenged by the things he's going to say today. Bill?